What's going on there, YouTube? Mackie64 here. We're going to talk about Rip Trippers 2.0 scandal. Well, you know, I had a little bit of time to think about it, and we're not going to discuss the last scandal that happened. If you want to watch that last video and how I felt about that, you're more than welcome to. It's got over 5,000 some views. Just check it out. It's worth watching and hearing an explanation about. So let's just talk about the new one. And yeah, so people are really pissed off in the vaping community because Rip Trippers downed vaping while plugging a product. And I kind of see where people are coming from, okay? Now, a lot of people don't want the FDA to see somebody who's a big public figure inside of the vaping community saying bad things about vaping because it makes vaping seem bad. But in reality, I don't think that was what the message was that he was trying to convey. I think it was just a misinterpretation by everybody because all they hear is something negative towards something that they enjoy, and they kind of went overboard with it a little bit. And I mean, that's just my honest opinion. I don't think that it was meant to be exactly what people were making it out to be. So let's discuss it really fast. So pretty much so what he said was when he started vaping, everything was going well for him for the first 2 years. And, you know, he was just chain vaping all day on really high PG to VG ratio juice. And eventually he started having side effects like cramping and headaches and hyperthyroidism and white knuckles. I guess it's chafing knuckles is what he was trying to say. I don't know how that can be caused by vaping, but that's what he said was going on. Now, I could see the dehydration part only by the effect of getting cotton mouth. All right. When you're getting cotton mouth, basically you're drying yourself out. And I guess if you're not properly drinking water when you get cotton mouth and you keep vaping hard, I mean, that's just a sign of dehydration is dry mouth. And if you keep vaping with dry mouth, then I would assume that it could eventually start drying out your lungs as well. And then your body's the retaining water in your body would be forced to the dehydrated areas to try to rehydrate them, thus creating no more supply of water in the body, and you'd be cramping because lactic acid would build up on your muscles. That's about all I could see as far as that goes. Otherwise, I don't see it. I mean, you know, I don't see anything else like hyperthyroidism. I'm not sure that that's even possible to get from vaping, especially from propylene glycol. It just doesn't really make sense to me. But if that's what his doctor said, I'm sure he probably took it to heart. All right. I mean, usually when your doctor says, hey, this can cause this and this can cause that, more than likely you're going to listen to him because it's a doctor. All right. That's just the truth. But, you know, it just depends. I don't think I've ever had hyperthyroidism or white knuckles, but I will say that I did in fact have some really bad headaches when I was vaping once upon a time. We'll get into my story here in a minute. But the whole purpose of his video was not even about that in actuality. It was more about plugging a electrolyte drink. Okay. Now, do I agree with him doing that? Sure. You know, if you want to make money and somebody wants to sponsor you like that, you know, go for it, man. I really don't mind somebody trying to, you know, do their thing and be an entrepreneur and going about business like that. I've never had a problem with people doing that. But did he make up a fake story in order to sell this drink? I don't know. There's no way to tell, but I will say that when I was vaping, I started vaping in 2012. I want to say it was like late 2012, mid 2012, something like that. And at the time, the juices were a lot different than they are now. So just keep that in mind, okay? It's not the same quality juice that's out today where you had a whole bunch of chain chains making really good quality flavor and all that stuff. It was a lot different then. It was a lot different then, actually. So you know, there's a possibility. I hate to say it, but there's truthfully a possibility that what he's saying is 100% true. Because when I was vaping in 2012, you know, it probably went well all the way up till 2014. And then in 2014, I started getting really bad headaches off the juice. So, I mean, at that time, I was having, still vaping on a 50-50 blend, and 60-40 blends. That's PG to VG to PG ratio, by the way. And I would get some headaches, so I stopped vaping altogether for a little while, just so I can get healthy, because I thought maybe it was just me being out of shape and not being healthy enough, and I wanted to get better. So I stopped vaping for a little while. I joined a gym, started working out. Everything was going great, and then I decided I was going to start vaping again. And that is where I had a very, very big issue. Now, when I started vaping again for the second time, I cannot tell you how sick I got. When I started working out, my body chemistry changed from taking all the supplements, protein powders, BCAAs, pre-workouts, things like that. I was taking a certain fat burner at the time. But the point is, my body chemistry had altered altogether. And when that happens, you don't know, like, what certain things can do to your body. But vaping, and at this point, let me just point out, I was using a Max VG based juice. I use different Max VG based juices at this point. And I don't know if PG can cause that. I mean, obviously there's always going to be propylene glycol in juice. That's just the way it's going to be made. It carries out the flavor. It's just bottom line, always going to be in it, no matter how much or little. It's always going to be in it. Okay, that's just the way it is, folks. But you know, I just I never had dry knuckles or muscle cramping to the extent he was making it out to be. But I will say that I did get violently sick every time I vaped. I couldn't eat. I felt nauseous. I had very bad headaches. And it ultimately led to I needed to quit vaping because, honestly, and if you're a vapor, you need to just come to terms with what I'm about to say. Vaping is not good for you. Okay? It just is not. It's not going to be. It will never be. Just putting any kind of vapor or anything in your lungs that's not oxygen with a small mixture of chemicals in the air that allow it not to be pure O2 is bad. It just is bad. All right, and I will say it is a safer solution than smoking. All right, so don't get me twisted on that. It is definitely safer than opening up a pack of cigarettes and puffing on them all day. But it's still not good for you, okay? I hate to say it, but it's just the truth. And you know, at the end of the day, you gotta take it for what it is. I don't think that everything he was saying was possibly true. I mean, maybe it is. You never know. His body chemistry is a lot different than everybody else's. Maybe he's had these symptoms, and other people haven't. But I don't think that everybody needs to buy his electrolyte drink in order to stay healthy while vaping. I don't see it, but you know, I understand he just got sponsored by him and he wanted to plug it, and that was the best way to plug it. And you know, a lot of times people do actually, celebrities will endorse a product that they use often. But there's also a lot of times that they don't. So I can understand the community's concern because, I mean, let's take Paris Hilton as a reference here. Now, I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, because I know there's a newer girl doing the commercials now, but I don't know her name. I really don't care. But back in the day, she used to do Hardee's commercials where Paris Hilton was eating Hardee's burgers. You know dang good and well she ain't eating those burgers on a daily basis. There ain't no way. I mean, she's just a tiny little rich kid who, she ain't eating that crap. But I mean, that's kind of my point that I'm trying to make here. It is just a plug, all right? That's all it was in the first place. Whether the story or not, was true or not, that's something that you got to take on yourself. I don't know. I'll never know, and none of us ever will. But I do know that it just sucks because it did make vaping bad. It did kind of taint it just a little bit for everybody. It gave everybody a sour taste in their mouth, and hopefully the FDA doesn't do anything about it, because even though I don't vape anymore, I do think that it's a lot better than smoking, and I would love to see smoking stop. Because I think about my son whenever I was vaping, and it kind of bothered me because he was showing me my vape. He knew what it was, and he knew that he didn't do it, but he seemed very intrigued by it, and that scared me. So I don't really want that for my child. I don't want that for my son, and that was another reason why I definitely wanted to quit. But, overall, I wanted to be there for him and be healthy enough to where if, in the future, I'm not going to have any health problems due to vaping. Because there always is an uncertainty. It's just simply not been out long enough to know any kind of long-term effects, and that's just the honest-to-God truth. We'll never know the long-term effects, but, we'll just have to see how it goes. I mean, I can't say that it's bad 100% because there's not enough evidence either way, but it's not good for you, all right? Just in reality, it's not good for you. So just remember that. And this isn't a thing to degrade vaping. It's just simply no vapor in your lungs or smoke in your lungs is good for your lungs. It just simply is not. Nicotine's not good for your body. Okay? I know a lot of people like the feeling that nicotine gives you. I was one of those people, so I mean, I completely relate. I understand. But just remember, in reality, it's still not a good drug for you. And propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin, that's really what the focus is at this point for the FDA. What kind of effects will that have on your body later on down the road? Maybe it's not going to do anything. Maybe it'll be okay. But for right now, they don't know, and RIP really didn't help the situation at all. It did make it seem to be not a very good thing. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody heard it, and it did sound kind of bad the way he put it. But at the same time, when I was smoking cigarettes, I felt like crap 24/7. Okay? So, I mean, there's that as well. You can't discredit either. All right? So, anyways, I would also just want to speak about people calling him a sellout. Is he a sellout? I don't think sellout's the right word, okay? Now, the video wasn't about him saying, oh, vaping's bad, vaping's not the future anymore, the heck with vaping, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't it. Don't get his words twisted. Understand what he was saying, okay? All he was saying was he had some side effects that not everybody had experienced, that he didn't take care of himself properly while vaping in the beginning. For that, he ended up having some side effects that, like I said, most people didn't have. And, that is what it is. But, I like I said, I don't agree with that part of it. The hyperthyroidism, I don't think that propylene glycol can give you that. That just sounds silly to me. I don't think that you can get very sick off of vaping and get dry white knuckles. That doesn't make sense to me. So, I'm in agreement with everybody on that part particularly. But as far as the headaches and the muscle cramping, there is a possibility. I can't take away from that. I still don't think he's a sellout. He never said that vaping is bad, so obviously You know, that's not being a sellout. It's just, I think it just came off wrong. I really do. I think everything that he said just came off not the way he wanted it to sound. And that's, you know, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is, folks. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave comments. I know that I said that I was going to post this a little earlier, but I had to get some sleep. I was very tired, and you know, it came a little late. I apologize, but please make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have updates on when I'm going to start my new channel. It's not going to be today, but hopefully I can get enough stuff to get it rolling in a little while. It shouldn't be too much longer. I'm really excited for it. I really want to see how people react to it, and I think it's going to be a fun channel for everybody. I think everybody's going to have fun with it. Anyways, just make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you comment. I want to read comments. I want to know everybody's perspective on this. Do you think that he sold out, and why do you think he sold out? And I know a lot of people were talking about dishonesty, and if he says this, then he's very dishonest about products, and I personally don't think he was dishonest at all. But if you think he is, tell me why you think he is. I want to know, because it doesn't seem like it was a dishonest thing. It seemed more honest than anybody else's reaction to me personally. It just seemed very genuine. He seemed to be distraught about it, but you never know. And to go back to the first video that everybody wants to talk about the sellout and dishonesty, and he takes money from all these people for vaping reviews. Let's just throw this out there before I end this video. He never took money for vaping reviews, okay? He had a contract, or was trying to get a contract to push through by CCI to basically plug one of their softwares. Okay, they had an application they wanted him to plug, and he said that if he was going to plug it, he wanted 2% of the profit because it was going to cost to have that app. Now that sounds pretty reasonable to me. If you're a superstar in the NFL or any kind of sports league, and let's say Pepsi Cola asked you to do a commercial, and they said, well, we're going to let you do a Pepsi commercial for us, and you're going to do it for nothing. You're going to do it completely free. If it's a star athlete, or even if it's not a star athlete, they're probably going to laugh at Pepsi and then walk off. Okay? Now, that was just an example. Obviously, I'm not saying that that's happened before with Pepsi, but what I'm saying is, you know, it just, nobody does it for free. And I kind of respect him for wanting to get money off of that, because if I was to plug somebody's, somebody's website or somebody's software, I would want to get paid for it. I would want to get some of the profit, because if it took off, then, and you're the only person that they chose for advertisement, then you obviously know that they solely only sold that because of you. And I think that you would then deserve to have profit. So that's my opinion on it. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me about that. I didn't mean to snort, because I have a cold. It is winter time after all. But leave a comment. Tell me what you guys think about this subject, and we'll talk about it. If you want me to talk a little bit more about vaping stuff, even though I don't vape, maybe I can get back in the vape game and start talking about it. I did do reviews for a while, so I know a good bit about it, and yeah, just tell me what you think about this situation. I also sent a message to Grimm Green just to be funny, because Grimm Green always plugs beer. Now, he doesn't get paid for it, but I just simply was making a joke and said on Twitter, does it make you a sellout for plugging beer? Since he plugged an electrolyte drink. And it was just a joke, so if you guys see that on Twitter at itsmacky64, don't take it to heart. It was just a joke. I was just clowning with him. He didn't respond, which is okay. I didn't expect him to, but it was just a joke. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.